got a new husband, and they drop off his kids to him, Robbie and Rachel, you know. So already you see the dysfunction, where he's cut off from his bloodline because they live with their mom and things like that. So, like I say, this movie portrays what is and what was going on, or was starting to happen um, back then. You know, um, I'm good. Already. What's up with you, Raw? You know what I'm talking about. So, you know, his kids visit, but you see, his ex-wife is looking through the house, which was very interesting and telling. She was just looking all through the house, looking at everything. She ain't his woman anymore. But she was still looking at the kids' rooms. They still had kitty beds. Especially for Robbie, who was a teenager. But like I say, you could see the dysfunction. You know, um, or the dysfunction in Ray's life. It seems like his house was sort of like a time capsule to after pretty much after the divorce. After the divorce, scene time just stopped, especially in the kids' room. Time just stopped for him, in a sense. And you see him working on the engine, and he doesn't take care of himself. It seems like the divorce disheveled his whole life. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot. But he has his kids. Why his ex-wife and her husband, they go visit her parents. And you see that she's expecting. She's preggo, and so they're staying with their father. Like I say, dysfunction. So movie is dysfunctional when it comes to the family dynamic, but it foreshadows what's actually happening in real life, you could say. you know Sister Deirdre said so evasive and rude, she was looking for something to complain about. Yeah, you know she was looking for something to complain about. She's just walking around like she still lives there. And can't nobody tell her nothing. She walking around like she lives there. Can't nobody tell her nothing, and she can do all of that. And he's like, "And this is my house. What did you do?" you don't, you know. Um, I would say that is a boundary line for conflict in a sense. Invading um, other people's secure space or homestead. When you're no longer part of the line, you got to respect the rules of that homestead. And obviously, she's not doing it. you know, going going around the house like we're still together. Yeah, we're clearly not. You know, but yeah. But then you see, he has no connection with his own children. You know, um, and so like when Rachel, as she has a splinter. Usually, he wants to get it out, and she's like, "No, when it's ready, my body was just pushing on all the way out." you know, it's like, "Oh, you don't want no tweezers or nothing. You just gonna let it stay there, huh?" you know. Um, but like I say, it foreshadows what's happening in real life. You're getting more feeling out of children. You know what I'm saying? Where pain and adversity is shamed upon, or something that they don't want to go through, right? So you're seeing that, but as that's happening, you see that um, lightning is striking where they're living. Like I said, it happened 26 times, right? So Ray goes to look and find out what's going on. She hadn't. This is different. She had every anxiety about everything but a splinter, and it showed how what was interesting. When this movie is made, now you've seen the emergence of kids with anxiety, having anxiety attacks and panic attacks, having to be on Ritalin and having ADD and all these sort of psychological symptoms, which was very interesting and very, very telling. She had every anxiety attack, and she doesn't seem like she's going through anything really traumatic, but she has anxiety, you know, which was very like from you know, from a splinter, you know, what, you know, your mom didn't get you, I don't know, Skechers, what, but yeah. And so like he goes to check it out, and then you see that the beings from space, they go into the ground, and then they come out with what tripods, and what's it called, tripods? These mechanical tripods, and then they start decimating every people and everything, But it's interesting how the lightning hits 26 times, and how they come through down into these pods, in capsules, um, through the lightning. Found that very interesting in the sense, it sort of reminded me of basically coming down the chain, or DNA in a sense, you know, when they were going into the ground and manning these machines. But here you have could actually have made her sick, Ted, this much. Yeah, and proper there wasn't proper hygiene of the homestead. Everything was just laid everywhere. Um, Showed that Ray didn't have proper stewardship over himself or over his household. You know, like Chief would say, a house is a archetype for the being that lives in it. You know what I'm talking about? So you see, it seems like every room was dirty and disheveled except for the kids' room, because nobody lived there anyway. They were barely there. So, but yeah. So you have that. So he goes to get his kids. One thing you can say is that uh he didn't have proper planning of bug in and bug out situations, which you see in this movie. Proper bug in and bug out situations needed to be had, because you're gonna see the reasons why as you go throughout the movie. He didn't have a bug out bag by the door. He didn't even have a bug out bag in his car that he was so prided on. Shoot, his son even took the car. You know what I'm saying? But that lightning also took out all the electrical. from watches to anything, took out everything. So cars didn't work and a lot of things don't work, you know. Um, so Ray takes a van that was being worked on, and it's like the only vehicle working um, in his neighborhood, in his community or whatever, right? And at first, he just got his kids, got what you can call supplies or whatever, you know. Um, and he takes this car, but the mechanic that was working on it, he was like, yo, get out the car. The guy, I've been working on this for a minute. He's gonna come back and he's gonna want his car. He's like, get in the car. Get in the car or you're gonna die. But he's still talking about, okay, now get out the car. And then all of a sudden he drives off. He said, Robbie, you know, um, close the door, let's go. you know. And while all of this is going on, the kids are sort of freaking out, and they're like, is it the terrorists? The terrorists? You could already see the scare, You don't have a name or a face, but you think, oh, they're back again. They're back and they're doing something worse than what they did before. So immediately it's the terrorists, what I'm saying, or whatever. But so he's like, and Ray's like, no, no, it's not that. But it freaks Rachel out, right? And then so Robbie has to calm it down and do, say, okay, Rachel, here you are. You're in your space. You're safe. You're in your space. You're in your space. Nothing can touch you. Nothing can harm you. The girl has anxiety before an actual danger is happening, But now that actual danger is coming up, now, it's magnified in that sense, Master Mignolet says, I thought it was interesting how Ray means light and also relates to Ray, which means king in Spanish. Yeah, king. And this character starts off with disorder and lack proper management of his kingdom. Yeah, he lacked proper management and he lacked proper sovereignty. You know what I'm talking about? Like I say, it seems it either it seemed like all that happened, or we can deduce that that's what divorce does, because he lost the person covering, he lost children, anything. It probably set off his balance in that sense, his kids live with some other man, what I'm saying, and they pay for his they pay what he pays for their schooling and all their needs, all of a sudden, he probably has self-esteem issues. Even when you look at his house, you can deduce that he has self-esteem issues. He don't care about himself. He doesn't have anything in his refrigerator. He tinkers around, with an engine, but nothing to really ground him. It seems like he lost all of his grounding once that divorce happened, or whatever. But like I say, it foreshadows what's happening during this time, And so, at first he takes them to his ex's house, and when you see their house, it's it's immaculate. It's like this, it's big, and cleaned. Even in the basement looks good, got a nice washer and dryer, and it's all spacious and whatnot. And he tells them, okay, we're gonna stay in the basement. At least he's getting more situational awareness. He's beginning to have more situational awareness. He says, we're going to stay in the basement, because when there's time for an emergency, the smart thing is to stay in the basement. And they're like, why we stay in the basement? We got good beds. You know what I'm saying? But the safest place would be in the basement, especially, like during natural weather disaster. Usually the safest place sometimes is in the basement. I remember it's either in the basement or the bathroom. Don't ask me why. I was wondering why the bathroom? Is it tub? You say stay in the tub, but yeah. So you have that, but then when he wakes up the next day, the whole house is obliterated in a sense, by planes. The planes fell, airplanes. And what's interesting is, the planes fell, but they don't see no bodies. And then they see a reporter and her cameraman are scrounging for food from the airplane. And so she tells Ray what's happening. And then you find out that the lightning, like I say, was basically a way for the beings to drop down into their pods, because it's been there for years, those millions of years apparently. But then logical reasoning is if those things or those tripods was there for millions of years, then you have to deduce that they had to be there either by the time Pangea was breaking up or a little bit before that, but probably after that, to where they can be stable, like a storage space, what I'm talking about. But peace in Marlene, what I'm saying. And so as they take the van, and they don't take highways, they don't take highways, which is smart. They don't take highways. And you see Ray working with a map. I don't know where he got the map from, but he got a map. So he's working with a map, and he's not taking the highways to get to Boston, because he's going to Boston to meet his ex-wife, because that's where her parents live, in Boston. Which in a proper disaster situation, you want to most likely stay away from cities. But they're going to a city. This plan is not smart, but it is what it is, right? But you see that, but then you see troops in green camouflage at that time, before they started switching the desert, and they're riding basically to where the events happen, right? And so Robbie, is flagging him down because he wants to join, and then he, basically is slashing out at his father with his own dysfunction. As you can see, what the divorce probably happened or whatever. How he says to his father, "You never gave up about us. You never did this. All you want to do is take us to Boston so you can dump us off on mom. That's what you want. You don't care, But he's trying to basically join on Harvey and whatnot. He don't even have a solid plan on what's going to happen. We go back, we fight them, and we did. It's like he's speaking from an emotional standpoint. He don't really know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Master Minion Leg. Google Maps won't always save you. That's why it's best to have a map in your bug out bag, in your car. Maps work. They've been working for a very long time, longer than Google Maps. You know, and sometimes you can't even trust Google Maps half the time. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's the same thing like when MapQuest was popular. You know, especially during this time when MapQuest was popular, you couldn't trust MapQuest because they'll send you out probably longer than your actual destination. So you have to still have that discernment, you know, when to use these electronic map devices, you know, because they may send you out your way, but you also have to still not rely on them so much where you don't have um, map reading skills. You know what I'm saying? You can read a basic map. You know, um, so they say now we are thrust into a different space, where we ask, how come no one knew, or did they? Exactly. You know, no one knew, you know, or did they? You know, um these ships been there for millions of years, and you mean to tell me no one dug them up? As much digging as human beings have done over the years. You don't you none of them never dug them up, or did they and didn't say anything? You know. Yeah, that's right. Go break a plate, you know. But also with that saying, you see that they're not paying attention because it's a bathroom bag, right? And you have Rachel. She's going way off into the woods where you want to stay in eye distance, and not only that, you don't want to go by yourself. You know, but she's a girl, you know, so she can't. But you don't go by yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't go by yourself, one, and two, um, you want to use the same spot. At least that's what I was, you know, you want to use the same spot to throw people off on because people, you know, you smell at times. So you don't want to have more than one spot so they can track you. So, you know, that's why you go by yourself. I mean, where you go with someone for one to, you know, basically keep you safe and be a lookout. And also y'all all use the same latrine digging area. So it could throw people off. You know, they won't be able to track you from um, your waist, you know. But what she goes all the way off to the river and she just sees, you know, dead bodies flowing in the river, but her dad goes and get her. You know what I'm saying? But it you know, she went too far to begin with for a kid because she's worried about being seen and being a girl. And you're in this, you know, you're in um a dangerous environment where you really you see that all of that is a luxury. She's still being a spoiled affluent kid, you know what I'm talking about? Where you can have that luxury of, you know, going having privacy, even to the bathroom, you know. But this is a situation of danger where you can't really do that, you know what I'm talking about? And here she goes, you know, doing it because she doesn't have situational awareness or discernment to say, okay, let me listen to my dad, you know, and be in an eye distance where he can see me, you know. But Sister Deirdre says, these things were buried deep, but didn't think about the ships that emerged in the metropolis. Skyscrapers must have deep foundations. What about the subway? Exactly. And they'll run into these things, not even once. Exactly. But in sort of Sister Deirdre, in defense, you know, this has, you know, they've been around for millions of years. So just like with dinosaur bones, you know what I'm saying? They could have been in lower layers of the earth. You know, as time went on, they could have sank deeper and deeper and deeper. You know, you have to think about ice age and like I say, movement of continents and forming of continents. You know, that could happen. You know, things like that. You know, uh, just a lot of ecological changes of the earth. you know. So yeah. But it does make you go, nobody steal, as much digging as y'all do. Y'all didn't find that. Y'all didn't find that with the top, with the T-Rex. Oh, okay. But yeah. So you have that. And then but then as they go to the ferry to get to Boston, right? Which in this scene you see is a dumb move. They go to the ferry in a car. Now they see that people are walking, and they got carts like the homeless, and people are looking for people missing and whatnot, but they're riding around in in a working car, which sets everybody off. You know what I'm saying? And here you have the zombie mindset of people breaking out all because they see a car. You know what I'm saying? First off, they should have dipped the car, in the woods somewhere and walked to the ferry. You know what I'm saying? That's what should have been done, but they didn't do it. And because of that, what did they offset a mob mindset in people because they see a car and then they want to use that car to drive, even if they're not going anywhere. But like I said, you see the zombie mindset in that, they breaking the windows and trying to get out. And then what? Ray gets his gun, he fires in the air, which you're not supposed to do, but it is what it is. He fires 2 shots. He got a 38 special. I mean, come on, And then he, people pause, back up. Sanity is brought back for a little bit, but then he finds a guy with a bigger gun. Looks like a 1911, but it's a semi-automatic. So he says, "I'm taking the car," and he drops the gun. Mind you, he drops the gun, and Ray looks more fit than this guy that with the gun. And he drops the gun. And he's just, please, I just want to get my daughter. I just want to get, and he gets his daughter, and the guy takes the car, and then they go into the diner, and then you see that people are fighting to even get on this dang on van. It's a van, but they're acting like zombies. That's the main thing. They're acting like zombies, like with this dang car, and then the car don't go. The van doesn't go far until it's wrecked again. But it causes pandemonium and chaos. So the idea of communication came up for me too. How the children kept demanding an explanation while intransigent and slowing up the process. Like, tell me what's going on first, then I'll listen to you. Exactly. Which is a luxury. You dealing with some you dealing with some spoiled kids, but they're so enthralled in their luxurious mindset that danger is not popping in their head. Shutting up, it's not popping into their head because they're so enthralled in their luxuriousness and their entitlement. Their entitlement. Like, you're not gonna do nothing to me, Dad. You're not gonna whoop me or anything like that. They're enthralled in that. So they're like, why? What? Why are we here? What's going on? Is it terrorists? Is it this? Where are we going? Why are we doing this? And you don't have time for 20 questions. You know what I'm saying? You don't have time for that. You got to be able to think clearly, and questions is only going to hinder the thought process of you trying to get to a safe location, or your survival mode. But they don't understand that. Even though they see what's happening, they're still asking questions. Where usually you want to say, STFU. I'll just say the acronym. Don't worry about it. In the sense that's when even you can see that Ray in his disciplining, he doesn't discipline his kids like Robbie took his car and all these. Well, was you take my car again, I'll report a stolen. Some of us had that, but we had a real actual threat. Like, you take my car without me knowing, I will call the police and I ain't coming to get you. They follow up with that. I ain't bailing you out neither. I'm calling the police, and you better have somebody else to bail you out. You better have your friends bail you out. made you think. But then what? Robbie sort of questions and stays there because he tells him to go in the house with his sister. And then he just stands there, still asking questions. He's like, Robbie, doing the like, man, like what? That's when you get them with the shock treatment. You'll get you'll do what I say. Yeah, I swore I was gonna say that, but he did. Privilege will keep you in a comfort zone unless there is inspiration to move beyond where we are. Ray didn't have comfort, so he can move much quicker. Exactly, Sister Deirdre. But also, you can see where he did wrong with his children, or where he allowed to happen. He allowed them to be so privileged under another man's covering that one, they couldn't fuck. Well, at least with Rachel, they had mental problems apparently, and they didn't have any discipline. Because apparently that other man was not doing it. He was just giving them a privileged lifestyle and letting them do whatever they want. Therefore, they had no discipline. And in a dangerous situation, you need discipline. Otherwise you get people killed. But peace, YG Gutter, you know what I'm talking about? But even that, questioning, children questioning would get you killed. You'd be like, I don't got time for that. Because things like that would get me killed, or get you killed, get you hurt, So either you get disciplined, grow, walk these dogs and represent Woo, That's all I can say. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, and then we see, they go to an open field, after they get sunk pretty much on the ferry. The ferry goes down, and they go to an open field where the military is there, shooting and engaging. Usually you want to leave the situation as fast as you can. Oh no, not Robbie. What does Robbie do? Robbie goes towards the danger. And what does Robbie say? Look, Ray is like, come on, you're coming with me. You may think you know everything. You may do this, but know that I love you. Look, he had to leave Rachel, to go get Robbie. Already, messing up the game plan in a sense, and causing disunity with the family. And then he's like, you gotta let me go. I have to see this. You gotta let me go. And so what? While Rachel is about to be took by a couple that don't know her, strangers. Mama told me not to talk to strangers, but here she is talking to strangers. And she's saying, "My dad is right there." He went to go get my brother, but look, the woman's maternal interest, like, I won't leave her. Me, the entire family. Yeah, stranger danger. He annoyed me too. But what? He had to pick which child to save, and Rachel need to be saved more than Robbie did. So he lets him go. He lets him go. And what does he go? He goes towards he heads towards the light. Or the flashing lights. Flashing lights. Which can get him killed, which he saw. But it is what it is. And so he disappears, presumed dead, right? But Ray takes Rachel, and then that's where they meet Harlan, and they stay in Harlan's basically underground basement. Like the old school one. Usually for tornadoes. You know what I'm saying? You got the drops, the hatches, drop hatches or whatever, and you usually see them in I'm in the heartland or whatever, and got the drop, just so you can hide in them, in case a tornado comes around, So yeah, you got that, and then Harlan, what he wants, he's basically in a state of, well, he has PTSD, from seeing his family get killed, but also he wants to retaliate, and so he's like, we're right under them, he's basically saying like, I'm gonna use the same tactic, and I'm gonna get them from below, just like they did us. But Ray is like, no, I got a daughter, you blow up this scene, you know what I'm saying, and bring them down here, then we're all gonna die. So basically it's them going back and forth a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But Harlan was more prepared because he had food, he had a weapon, well, he had a shotgun, and things like that. So he was more prepared than Ray was in a sense, But yeah, only thing that was wrong with him was his mindset in a sense. And so because at first, the beings come down, and then you actually get to see them, and they sort of look like the tripods that they man, and you see them basically observing and looking at pictures and bikes and things like that, and but then the great horn, you hear that horn more than one time, and they have to go and man those ships again. But also you see that they're spotting red mist and red vines, which is blood, so they're using uh, humans and animals and blood and their blood to basically terraform Earth. So now they're trying to make it their home. But like in the books, the Martians actually come to Earth because they depleted all their resources. That's why they invade Earth. So you can say it's the same thing. They're basically coming down to really make the Earth their homeland. You know what I'm saying? So now you have Harlan making up noise, trying to digging a hole, acting crazy and erratic. And so Ray, he blindfolds Rachel, and then he kills Harlan, because he's worried about, Harlan doing something stupid, especially with that shotgun, but they leave that bunker, and Rachel sees basically the tentacle camera drone that comes down. She gets scared, screams, run out of the bunker to where her dad can't find her. So he's looking for her. While he's looking for her, the tripod is coming, and all of a sudden, what she do? She's continuing to scream, and so the tripod gets her. But then it gets Ray. But before it gets Ray, he has grenades. At first, he throws one at the tripod, but realizes there's a shield, so it can't hurt the tripod, right? She wouldn't stop screaming. Usually, Nah, I'm not gonna say it. But she wouldn't stop screaming. You know, where's duct tape, baby? But she just wouldn't stop screaming. And they both get caught. But then um, they're put in these like hanging cages, you know, with other people, and then they're basically sucked in. Well, not sucked in. Well, yeah, sucked in through. Um, we just gonna say a cavity, you know. Basically to be processed, you know, like cattle, because that was the was it in the in the books where it would seem like um they the Martians waited so long just for human beings to basically perfect themselves and perfect their bodies so they can be used as food nutrients for the Martians in a sense. I was but yeah, but like I say, it's so it takes it doesn't really represent the books well, I would say, you know. But uh, in order for Rachel to not get took by this tentacle that really dries them up the cavity, you know, to be killed, Ray goes instead. But a soldier sees that Ray has grenades with him, so he basically holds Ray's hand and he tells everybody to hold him down, basically weight him down, so it'll probably spit him out, and so that happens. But Ray pulls, I don't know how he did it, but he pulls all the pins, you know, out of the grenades and then blows up the tripod. You know what I'm saying? And that's how everyone was saved. But then they get flung into a tree. Now, how nobody got stabbed in that tree, I don't know. You know, you got to think about how they hit it and things like that. I was like, somebody gonna get impaled on that tree if they ain't careful, you know. But hey, everybody was saved, so yeah. But they were able to get out, and you know, Ray and Rachel, they made it to Boston. You know, they make it to Boston. But when they get to Boston, Boston is a war zone. And you see the army is fighting. But at this point, you know, basically the Martians are dying, you know, and no one knows why. And then the force field or shields are not up anymore. So that helps the army attack the tripods with you know, bazookas and RPGs and things like that, you know. And then they see that inside um they're dying, you know. But you know, after that, you know, after all of that, you know, Ray and Rachel make it to Boston. They make it, you know, to their mom's, well, her mom's parents' house. And, you know, Rachel hugs her mom, and then her mom tells Ray, thank you. That's all he gets. Ain't no, are you okay? Are you safe? No. You went through all of that, blew up. I mean, you blew up. You blew up a tripod. You did all of this, and all you get is a thank you. Yeah, went through above and beyond, and the brought out your superpowers and became Superman overnight, and then all you get is thank you. Mm-hmm. While everybody else is safe in that dang old house, in that brownstone. Look like nothing happened. They're not the ship. They're not, you know, they didn't look like they went through anything. But you went through all of that just to get thank you. It was crazy. And then where was Robbie? In the dang old house. I don't. Like, how did he get out? But he was in the house. He was in that house, man. He was in the house, and I don't know how he left that dangerous situation, but he was found in the house before they got there. He got there before they got there. um, they caught that space vid. It made me wonder, y'all, all this time, how much research did y'all actually do before it made it? That, and I thought of it as, well, when they came, per se, you know, because for those who don't know, what killed them is the bacteria or the phytoplankton, that's in the air and everything, that actually, help the you could say the natural white, well, um, defenses or bacterial defenses um, of this planet killed them. So, like you said, Master, meaning that you don't know how much research they did. What was, to me, what it was when they came the first time, those bacterial elements that were there probably weren't there then. So they didn't. They probably didn't research, molecular or cellular bacteria or biology to know that, just like humans evolved, so did they. And when they came down, they instantly, new new and invading being, kill it, you know. Jurassic Park, life finds a way, and it found a way to kill it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I thought. You know, just because we develop immunities of these things for years. Basically, realistic speaking, we're the youngest species on this planet, but nevertheless, we developed antibodies to that, which they did not. So therefore, it was easy for them to die, but it just took them longer, probably because um, because they had shields, they had to breathe, they actually had to get out of those pods in order to breathe the air and things like that, maybe drink the water to finally realize, oh, we got that sick, we do got that video, bro. We got it, and we don't have, and our bodies don't give those cellular defenses for this foreign parasitic invasion. Therefore, we about to die, and that's what happens, But that's what you find out what really killed them. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot. But that's the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying. But like I say, instead of sort of looking at I would say the esoteric part of it all, I was pretty much looking at the dysfunction of the family dynamic and disunity of that family dynamic, and just how it basically replicated real life situations during that time and what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. you know. Carl say, I want to get my pot. Carl, did you wash your hands? You got to scrub it, 30 seconds to a minute. I didn't think he washed his hands when he went to the bathroom. He didn't. I didn't see him scrub inside every crevice. You got Carl like, hey, I put water on him. Did you use our water or did you use the Earth's water? The Earth's water. Why? He's contaminated. Things like that. But yeah, man, it was a lot. But like I say, you sort of see how it takes a a disaster like that to trigger the zombie or mob mindset within people, especially people that are not prepared, you know, and things like that. You honestly see it, you know, which was very interesting in itself, you know. So yeah, so join us next strong, where we're I guess, man, it really feels like a family month. Well, we're I guess we are continuing with another family dynamic. We've been doing family dynamics this strong. We're going to continue with another family dynamic, and the movie is called Parasite. We going to Korea on them. We going to Terramingo. But yeah, we gonna do Parasite, you know. And again, another family dynamic. But I think you're going to see more of a family dynamic that has to deal with poverty. You know, which what we are talking about. You're going to see poverty in Parasite in a sense, you know, but a unified family trying to catch a lick. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna talk about it. You know what I'm talking about? We gonna get into, you know, Parasite. You know, make you want to say I go. You know, that's a little bit Korean for you, but you know, we gonna explore. You know what I'm saying? We gonna explore. Very good film. Very good film. You know, this you could say is the breakaway hit for Korean cinema, at least that in the West, you know, because there's a lot of good Korean films, but this one actually won an Oscar. You know, but this one actually won an Oscar. So Parasite is very interesting. So that's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Next strong, but Master Minglet said those people couldn't think more than one step ahead. Got to get the car. Then what? I don't know. It's a car, man. What else do you want from me? You look like we got a car. Like, where we gonna go? We're about to catch the ferry. And not only that, another thing. They're trying to get to Boston. They're still on the East Coast. Usually when they go inland, not on the coast. But hey, what do I know? They trying to get to Boston with all, you know, waterways and whatnot. I don't know. They ain't trying to get inland. They just trying to go to Boston. Like I said, Boston. Yeah, it is what it is. But you know, but yeah. So next round we doing Parasite, and join us tomorrow for Shema New. We will be talking more about that poverty. You know what I'm talking about? And it will be me and Achi Zach. You know how we do. You know it's us back again. Tag team back again. Anyway, we gonna be doing it and hosting it, you know what I'm saying, and facilitating it, you know what I'm talking about. And we're gonna come with it. You know, so maybe that's a warning. Or, I don't know, caution. You know, but yeah, exactly, dynamic duo. You know, so yeah, join us for Shema New. Don't forget Clubhouse. You know, we got the Midday Affirmative. You know, after that, you know, and we got DJ Shmoney before that. You know, so you got to hear DJ Shmoney on the ones and twos. You know what I'm talking about? But so yeah, so don't forget all of that. So enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see y'all next time. Well, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. You know, but I was on this platform. I'm going to see y'all next show, you know, for Parasite. So give thanks and peace, everybody.